Well, it's Christmas Eve, and in here is a rather delicious stock that I have been simmering since this morning, and it's a vegetable stock with a couple of stock cubes in there, and that is what we're going to start off our pork with. That's what we're going to start off braising. Now this stock is 4 cloves of garlic, 2 onions, 1 carrot, a very tiny cauliflower, a couple of bay leaves, and half a Chinese cabbage, all chopped up. Couple of stock cubes, and it smells divine. Oh my word, that's beautiful. That's rather like a really rich spring veg soup. Anyway, that is going to go in our braising of the pork. So here's our joint of pork, 24¼ pounds Boston butt. It's been in the cure, it's been salting for the better part of 6 days. I've taken it out this morning. I've washed all the cure off, and I've soaked it in water, cold water, for 2 hours to draw any excess salt out. In there now is going to go our fabulous stock, and then that's going to simmer, braise on the stove for about an hour before it goes into the oven with the most fantastic glaze upon it. This is one of May's absolutely fantastic family soup pans, and that comes at about 4 tiers on it, so you can cook in liquid in the bottom and steam all the way through. Well, we're going to put our stock in there now. There's a bay leaf. So the ham is about half covered with the stock, so on goes the lid, and she's going to go on the stove now for about an hour on a very low light. There she goes, simmering we shall go. 1 hour later we'll open her up and put her in the oven. Now our pork has been braising in there for a little under an hour, and we're going to give it a little bit more before it gets transferred to the oven for baking. Well, there's the ham, and I'm going to spoon some of the stock out and put it in the tray, because we want that moisture while it's in the oven, and we will want to baste it as it's roasting. Now I'm going to double wrap that. Right now it is black pepper. And the pièce de résistance, marmalade. Now we've turned the oven up to maximum heat, and this marmalade is going to melt and run down this pork joint. And then the full heat is going to start to caramelize the marmalade, and then we've got to spend a bit of time, got to take it out again and start to baste it. Get it all in between those cuts. Well, there she is, coated in marmalade. Going to back in a hot oven now for about another 20-30 minutes, and then we're going to turn the heat right down, and we're going to scoop up that glaze and put it back on top of the joint. Well, look at that beauty. That is looking pretty good. So what we're going to do is we're going to lift it out again we're going to spoon that marmalade stock back over the pork. It looks divine. Well, just look at that. It's not ready yet. I'm just going to get some of this marmalade back over the pork, the ham. This, I think, is gonna be beautiful. Now it's got to go back in the oven for a while. However, we'll just test the temperature down towards the middle. And the traditional way of doing that is to put a skewer down into the middle, take it out, put the skewer tip on the back of your hand and feel the heat. And that's quite cool. So it's nowhere near done yet. Now then, the sugars in that marmalade are caramelizing, and we've left the total skin on. So that crackling is going to be sweet, it's going to be juicy, it's going to be crispy, it's going to be knockout. Now, I've put in a meat thermometer, and it's got to go a little bit yet before we get to the desired temperature. Pork wants to be about 130, 145 in the centre, and then we can say it's totally cooked. So we're currently about 130, so a little bit to go yet. So we're going to close them up and give it another 20 minutes, and then I'll probably take it out, wrap it in foil and let it cook on under its own auspice. Well, there you go, the finished article. And I've got to say, I have just cooked a piece off that, and it is absolutely beautiful, lovely, tender, sweet, gorgeous. Love it. Lovely. Ham. Gorgeous. I'm going to try a piece of that marmalade crackling. A little piece. That's knockout. Crunchy, sweet, lovely, love it. So there you go. Merry Christmas to everybody.